Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Hyde Park Town Board regular meeting and workshop for April 10th, 2023. Please, I call the meeting to order. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to have a motion to accept the meetings of March 13th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Do any of the town board members have any conflicts of interest regarding any of the items on tonight's agenda?
No. No.
Nope. We move forward. Okay, we'd like to go to resolution number 18 first, please. Who would like the honors?
Resolution 410-18 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Zachary F. Vigas, as a full-time police officer to the Town of Hyde Park Police Department.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Is the officer here?
Yes, he is.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Zachary Vigas, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and faithfully discharge the duties of full-time police officer according to the best of my ability. You're so sworn. Congratulations. Thank you. You know the drill. Zachary, if I can be. Guess what would be closes our bias.
Nicole,
Yes, please. There you go. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Chief, trust me, still
I know where he lives.
Okay, you good?
That's right. Which one am I looking at? Right over here?
You really think we changed?
Okay. I was surprised you.
Because I don't have to go down there for this one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. But that's right.
I only had to do 10.
Yeah, thanks. Cartwheel off the desk.
Okay, we're going to go direct to Resolution 19. Lynn?
Resolution 410-19 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to acknowledge the resignation of Town of Hyde Park Police Officer Alan Roberts.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Officer is here. Alan? gave me a ticket on Christmas Eve.
So that's great.
Here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is all sort of overwhelming for me, and I appreciate it. And I hope the department continues in the right direction as it is going.
You come and give classes too?
No.
You couldn't talk about anything, Capri?
He's given a lot of time for food.
I know
trust
that.
me.
Thank you.
Very good, Al. Thank you.
41
years, good job, good job. Thank you very much.
He also was for a long time.
Can I say a couple?
Yes, without that.
Is this one hot, Pete?
Certainly miss you.
Grab the mic.
He's got a mic?
Oh, it's
You know me, I like to talk.
likes to move.
So I just want to say a couple words about Alan Roberts. I came here when I was 23 years old. I come in through just like these young guys that we have working here now. Walked in, thought I knew everything. Walked through the door, I'm like, yeah, I went to the academy. I know what I'm doing. I was born and raised in this town. And I don't think it was about a week later, Al was not the kind of person to yell at anyone when they made a mistake. He'd pull you aside and be like, I really don't like what you did right there. So, okay, what do you mean by that? I really don't like what you did right there. You think about it and come back to me in about an hour, and we'll talk about it. And that hour was the longest hour of my life, thinking about what I did wrong. But I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now if it wasn't for people like Mike Straza, Alan Roberts, Dean Robinson, Jim McKenna, people that were born and raised here, were from here, and taught me how to do things the right way. And that's what I'm trying to continue. That's what's in this hallway out here. All these young men and women, a couple of them are a little older, but most of the men and women are here because this is who we are. This is what we are, Hyde Park. The Hyde Park Police Department, we stand together. We're bound together. We protect each other. We protect the community. We're here for each other when we need it. And this man right here is my hero. And it's tough to lose the institutional knowledge that we have here that we're losing today. And now, keep your phone on. Peggy will answer first, and then I'll say, can you put me through to Al, because we're losing a lot of knowledge. We were sitting down the other day and we're going over different duties. Like, oh, who does that? Oh, Al does that. Oh, who does that? Oh, Al does that. So Al's going to have to be with us for a little bit longer to help train some of the people that have to take over those duties, but you will be duly missed, Al. Thank you.
Thank you for your service, Al.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to ask for a motion and a second to enter into a executive session quickly to discuss a matter leading to an appointment of a particular person.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's go. Yeah, well. I'd like to have a motion to come back from the executive session.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
That's right, we'll start on number one.
Okay.
So we're back there.
Okay, workshops. Ted, you got 2.5 minutes.
Oh, boy. Skip all the slides.
Did you want to do public comment when resolutions?
We didn't do public comments.
Sorry, yeah.
1 minute?
So here we are again.
Ted, 1 minute?
One moment. We got to
1
do
moment.
public comment.
I missed something.
I'm sorry.
I always miss this part. Do we have any public comments for any of the resolutions, town business? Remember, it's 3 minutes. Okay, Ted, you can go back over.
Tad, we're just trying to keep you in shape.
I know, I need it.
Now you
No,
only
you
got a minute
don't.
and a half.
So here we are again, and our MS4 annual report is due to DEC June 1st. So we are here because we're required to be here. We have to post our draft annual report on the town website and allow the public to comment. And we're requesting the town board to set a public hearing and hold a public hearing in May on the draft report. Any comments, I would prefer to receive them. We're required to post it for 30 days, so if public comments could come in by the 1st of May, I would have time to make adjustments to the report if needed, so the town board would have the most current and final report to submit to DEC by June 1st. So that's why we're here. Not only does the town have a permit with DEC, but construction site contractors also have construction site MS4 permits with DEC. So a long time ago, the Clean Water Act was adopted. The MS4's program was expanded, and beginning in 2003, we received some draft information, and by 2008, we had to implement a stormwater management plan and a illicit discharge program. We are identified as an MS4 community based on our population and density. And again, we're required to submit an annual report on our progress to DEC by the 1st of June. And there are 6 minimum measures that are part of the program. The illicit discharge ordinance was adopted first, then the stormwater management ordinance. As a county, all of the MS4s in the county got together with Dutchess County Soil and Water Conservation Office in Millbrook, and we are part of a united group, and the Soil and Water takes on a lot of the education and outreach programs for minimum measures 1 and 2. And I'm primarily your contact. I'm the stormwater management officer, and the town engineer and highway superintendent also participate in the programs. So this year, our education effort, from the town's perspective, we try to work with contractors in pre-construction meetings before they start anything out on the site. The town engineer and I had 7 of those meetings this past year. I also do mailings based on building permits that are authorized, so there were 244 of those notifications that went out with authorized building permits last year. The public participation part, the CAC does an awful lot. There's a Wappingers Creek watershed group. Stream cleanups are done by various local organizations, and the roadside cleanups also help as part of the program. For illicit discharge, fortunately, we had no reports of illicit discharge this past year that were able to be verified, so that was a good thing. Most of them come as septic system failures, and the Department of Health has an agreement with the towns that they are the ones that investigate, and they have the authority to require septic upgrades. The town does not have that authority. But we do investigate and work with them and give information back and forth. Construction sites, we had 7 sites. These are required in the report. We have to give these numbers. There are 7 sites in the town that were over an acre or more of disturbance, and sites that are under an acre of disturbance are erosion sediment control permits, and we issued 7 of those this year. So new home construction generally falls in that requirement. Post-construction maintenance, We don't have a whole lot of post-construction that has been approved and built and functioning yet since 2006, I guess it was, 7. And for pollution prevention, we have our recycling program. The highway department has done upgrades to their property, and they have added more spill kits to the highway vehicles and restocked their spill kits, both in the vehicles and at the maintenance garage. So thank you for listening, and we will talk to you again in May.
Nicely done.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Ted.
I think Mel?
Yes.
There you go.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Mel Spivak. I'm a resident of the town. I'm a pickleball player. We're here for the court, for the board to issue a resolution permitting us to continue playing pickleball in the winter at the pickleball courts at Dinsmore Park in Stassburg. It doesn't sound like you're familiar with it. Let me continue.
No, we're familiar with
Yeah,
it.
we know, we're letting you speak.
Well, if there's no objection, we have a presentation as to why you should issue the resolution we're asking for, but if there may be no objection, it might be a no-brainer. We think it should be a no-brainer to issue it for us, but we can continue if you prefer. Unless there's no objection, and you can say the resolution will be on the next meeting, and will be signed. Otherwise, we'll continue. Okay, I'll continue. This past winter, the pickleball courts remained open. We had great attendance. Almost every playable day, we had 10, 15 people there every morning, and we would like to see it continue that way. We were notified by the recreation director that next winter he intends to close it, which is why we're here. We don't think there's any valid reason to close it. We could explain to you about that.
The rec director's here, so we're going to ask, Rob, what's your issue with this?
Hey, Mel, how's it
Hi.
going?
See you.
Board, yep.
Pull the microphone closer.
Board, is it on? I don't know if you're aware, but in the recreational field, in the northeast, we have winter. And in winter, there's ice and snow, which get on the court, which, one, reduces the lifetime of the nets and the equipment on the court, and it also causes slip and fall hazards, which is an increased risk to the town reliability. So we don't have appropriate manpower to clean these courts and maintain the courts throughout the winter. So I feel that on the safe side of the town, to protect the town from increased risk, not to have them open. This year, I did have them open because my maintenance guy had felt ill, and I don't have any maintenance team right now. And we had such a mild winter, I felt the risk was minimal. Now, last year, I closed the courts, and every week or so, Mel would email me, ask me to open the courts, and it would snow either that day or the next day, like 4 or 5 inches. And then, like, a week or so would go by, he'd ask to open them again, and either that day or the very next day, another snowstorm would come in. And that's why I feel that the court should be closed.
We'll continue.
So Rob, I have a question if I may.
Yep.
So there's already a set time per
Typically,
month, right? Correct?
yeah, typically, they usually, you go November 1st to April 1st on tennis courts and pickleball courts.
And those can be adjusted at your discretion for
Yes.
in lieu of a mild winter?
Yep, so the first year I did do that. The first year I didn't close them, I think until like January, the beginning of January, the first snowfall.
And because they're town-owned, this isn't something, when you were talking about cleanup and staffing, that we could have volunteers go in to do that, correct?
Well, I don't know about that because I don't know what the liability would be because they wouldn't be employed by the town.
Exactly.
So if they make a bad decision and say, hey, let's open the courts and someone gets hurt,
Right.
the town's still gonna be liable, I'd feel.
Yeah, it should be under your discretion. All right, thank you.
Rob, is it accurate to say there's a certain protocol that should be used to, if there's snow and you wanted to use the courts, or if there's a little buildup, there's certain things to do properly so that you don't,
We can come up with procedures and protocols, we just don't have the staff to follow through on any of that.
no, but I'm saying, what I was getting at, going off of what Don was saying, even if we had volunteers or the citizens wanted to do it, it's not just something simple that they can go out and do. There's precautions to take so that you don't damage the surface, correct?
Yes, and again, it would come down to the town's acceptance of risk.
Well, the risk is there.
The risk is always there, it just
Just
increases.
Increase slightly.
In the winter.
increase in the winter.
And right adjacent to the basketball courts that cannot be closed, the same surface as tennis,
Mr. Spivak, I did speak to you on the phone regarding the basketball courts. The basketball courts in the original plan was supposed to have a 10-foot fence around them. The former board did not budget appropriately, and the pricing of fencing went up, and that's why there's no fence around the basketball courts. Those courts, I believe, would be closed also, correct, Rob? If they were fenced in?
Yes, because they have the sports coating too. The other courts in the town do not have sports coating, so it's just asphalt.
Can I answer some of the things that he said? So I'm Beth Ackerman, I'm a resident of Statsburg. I've been playing on the court since they opened in July of 2021. I play 5 times a week there. If there's snow, we do not play. If there's snow on the courts, we don't play. We don't shovel it, we don't do anything, we don't chop ice, we don't do that, because we don't want to ruin the courts.
And we're there every day.
We're there at least 5 days a week I'm there. I'll play there when it's the high 20s. We get dressed up warm, we use a softer ball, and we play. We're out there playing. And there's, 15, 20 people out there. We're using the courts. If it's wet, we use a squeegee and a roller and towels. We personally bought 2 squeegees and a roller, and they're at the courts now, locked. And everyone has towels in their car. And so we clear the court if it's wet, and we dry it with the towel, and we do not play if it's slippery. We don't. We're not going to take a risk, because we don't want to fall.
As soon as it starts raining, we stop. We don't want to slip.
We don't want to slip. Exactly. We use our foot, and if it's slippery, we stop. So I think it can stay open because we take all precautions to make sure it's
So if I'm
safe.
hearing you correctly, you're not going to go shovel snow.
Absolutely
If it's
not.
bad weather, if it's
We
ice
don't.
out there, you're not going there. to
Absolutely
play.
not. No one's gonna be that dumb.
If there's like a, November week of like a spring, summer week that
We'll go out
comes
there.
up, you want to be able to play.
And
You
if
don't
there's
wanna
snow on
shut
the
down
court,
for that.
we will not go out there, and we're not going to shovel it. We're not going to ruin it. We're not going to ruin the courts. Other things that we do, the pickleball players, we clean up the area. There's water bottles, there's garbage on the courts and around in the grass, and we go out. I went out today, and I spent 10 minutes cleaning up all the junk that people leave out there. So we're keeping the courts clean. We're keeping the area clean. We fixed picnic tables that were broken and dangerous, that I don't even know who put out there, but we had a pickleball person who went and fixed the tables. We had, I added mulch. I brought mulch from home and put it in the mud around the courts so they weren't slippery for people to slip. There's, nicely done, there was wooden slabs there and some wood chips that were put down, which was very great that they did that, but the nails in the wood were coming up, and it was a tripping hazard. So someone had a hammer in their car, and they hit nails back in, so it wasn't a tripping hazard. The 2 gates in the fence, they were askew, and one person, a pickleball person, they fixed the 2 gates, so they close now properly. So as you can see, that we have fixed anything that was broken around there, anything that was damaged, to make sure it's safe before we play. We're not going to play when it's slippery or wet or snow. We won't do it. We're not dumb. The town mission statement says, part of it says, the Hyde Park Recreation Commission and Department are committed to providing quality recreation programs and services to all citizens in the town. And these courts provide exercise and communication, social communication for all the active seniors. There's no other thing around Hyde Park in Statsburg that is out there for us. And so we do that, like I said, in the high 20s, we are out there playing pickleball. Come out and watch. We're there. If you close the courts, you're not providing that for us. And another thing, there's a lot of kids in Statsburg who go to that playground and the courts around there, and they play, and if you lock that gate, they will climb the fence, and I've seen them do it. Their ball goes in there, their Frisbee goes in there, anything, they will climb that fence, and that is an insurance risk to Hyde Park, because they can fall, and then you're going to get sued. So don't lock the gates, because the kids will be in there, and they will use it, no matter what.
And longevity of the courts, pickleball nets, the nets itself cost $160 each. So if we have 3 nets, $500, if they last 10 years, that's $50 a year. So you're not saving any nets, any money for the town by sending a guy to pay him for an hour or two to take them down, an hour or two to put them back up. What's the point? Then I'm on your back. When can you put them up? And let them stay up. They look perfectly good, brand new right now. This is be the 3rd summer. So we asked that we had a resolution to permit the courts to be open year-round so that we can do what we're doing and play on pickleball courts.
And we're not going to do it when it's dangerous. We don't, because we don't want to get hurt.
Would it be possible to write-up procedures that would actually codify what you just said? That it was, if it's raining or snowing or whatever the conditions are, and that it's in writing?
Well, just to permit us to play when it's playable.
Right. But I wonder if the liability would be less if it's written down, just what you're saying, you do anyway.
Right. If it's wet, we're going to clear it off. We will clear it off if it's wet.
The only problem with that statement is, can you speak for those 20,000 residents?
We have people out here who come and play with us, and they do the same thing.
Yes, but can you say that for all the 20,000? Well,
Of course not. No one can do that. They're going to go on the basketball court, and they're going to play on the basketball court, and they can fall and slip. It's the same court.
yeah, so you're saying I should double my risk by having something that I can unlock it.
Just leave it unlocked.
Leave it unlocked.
Well, you're doubling the risk. You had a basketball court, you're saying you can get hurt on in the winter.
The risk
and
is
now the
there.
other one's going to be open, you can get hurt on, so I'm doubling the risk.
If it's locked, the kid's going to climb over. It's called an attractive nuisance.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you told me it's an attractive nuisance would be if it's unlocked. That's the reason why, it would make no sense. Why put a fence around a pool? Put a fence around a pool because if someone then trespasses and goes in the pool and climbs the fence, that minimizes the liability of the owner of the pool. If you keep the fence off the pool or you unlock the fence, that does create the attractive nuisance and increases the liability.
Well,
There's also a playground there. The kids can climb on top of the playground. It could be slippery and wet, and they can fall. What are you going to do? Stop people from using everything?
There is another issue, and I have to say, and Mel, I was there when you came and wanted to convert the Pine Woods tennis courts into pickleball courts. So I've been invested in the pickleball courts from the beginning, and I understand your desire to play all year. There is a question about if there is ice and snow, and we're not talking about avid pickleball players like yourself, but you're not there when there's snow, and somebody comes down and says, hey, let's try it out, there's no one here, we're going to go and chip that ice off, and they take the sheer coating off. It's a sports coat, it's not asphalt. And there are people who will mistakenly do that. And that was one of the questions that came up, because you're not there to protect it if it's snow, because you said you don't go when it snows, because you're not stupid.
Right.
But quite honestly, there are people who might go when there's snow and say, hey, let me just shovel this off and damage the very large investment that the town put into those.
Put proper
courts.
signage up and let the Hyde Park police pass by once in a while.
Well, the Hyde Park Police can pass by once in a while, but they can't be there surveilling 24 hours.
Well, vandalism could happen anywhere to anything.
This wouldn't be
We're
vandalism.
there, and-
Okay, Mel, I'm just stating things that came up. So you're saying as an avid pickleball player, you wouldn't do it, but what Rob is saying is you can't speak for the non-avid pickleball players or the other 20,000 residents.
Of course not.
Of the town, or people from Rhinebeck or Poughkeepsie or wherever else they might want to come from. So he is trying to protect the investment in the pickleball courts.
And I could.
And as a recreation director, it's his directive to do so, and that is what I told you on the phone.
No, and I could tell you, I know where you're coming from, but I could tell you from firsthand over Hackett Hill, as we're building the new playground, we have a construction fence around it. Do not enter, under construction. We got the bulldozer there, we're grading. People are coming up on a Saturday, getting out of their car, and the kids are running up, and they're jumping over the fence, and their parents are there. I understand what you're saying, but there are a lot of people out there that are just clueless, and they're on the playground, and we didn't even have the signs, and we didn't even have the playground certified, or the installer didn't even give us the green light to say, hey, the playground's good to go. And you get this all the time.
Well, this whole winter, everything went fine, there's no damage to the courts.
This was an unusual winter.
Yeah.
Great winter for it.
This was a very unusual winter.
So if there's extra snow for a week, so what? But as soon as it clears up, we're there and we're playing, we're not harming anything or anybody.
Well, we're not saying you guys are.
We're not saying you are.
So don't shut us out.
It's not you guys, it's not, I'm not.
You are, that is what's happening.
No, I'm trying to protect the investment.
Right now, we object to the policy, and if you keep us out, then you're the problem. We're trying to play pickleball on pickleball courts on public town property.
Mel, I'm the recreation director. I'm in favor as much recreation as possible, but I still have rules and regulations I need to follow.
If I could ask the town attorney, who is authorized to limit the hours of the park? Is it the recreation director or is it the town board?
The authority was given to the recreation director, that's why he's there. So, I mean, obviously, the town board can always overrule it and change the rules or the policy or his discretion and authority. But he's there, he's the one in authority, and so he...
Well, he gave his reasons, and we have the answers to his reasons that don't hold any water. He says the reason to close the courts remain the same. The town insurance carrier recommends this. That's what he said. And for the longevity of the courts. The nets are $50 a year over 10
There's
years.
more to the courts than nets, correct?
Well, the basketball court has the same surface as the pickleball court.
And we discussed this. The basketball court was supposed to have a fence around it.
But it doesn't,
also.
and it's the same, and it's the same surface, and the same risk, and you're closing down the pickleball courts, but not the basketball courts, and you're
Would you like us
absorbing
to
the risk
close
on
the
the basketball court.
Basketball court's been ruined because of people
We did have an
been using all winter?
incident of an ATV ride across it.
It's the same surface, it's right next door, and whatever could happen there could happen to the basketball courts. And he's stopping us with pickleball, but not basketball. The hoops are still up, the nets are still up.
Exactly.
They can play basketball whenever they want, and he's keeping us out.
Right.
Let me ask you a question, Rob. Is there any flexibility to put signage up in every year? Basically, if you know that it's a mild winter and the conditions are good, to let the people use it at that point, and then...
You can always put signage up, people follow it, which in my experience, most of them don't follow signage. Just
Well,
like you were just
It
saying
minimizes
about,
the risk.
yeah, I mean, just like the playground, like I have fencing and signage on that playground and people just go right on it. you know,
But they
so-
take an inherent risk when they do
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So-
But what I'm saying, what I want to do is we'll discuss this, we'll have a meeting and discuss this further, because I think you're the one that's going to have the say, but what's going to, not total say, but what we may do is try to work this in and discuss it between us and have a decision not only in May, but let's say that if the weather's good and you have good weather, then
This year.
Rob makes the decision, you guys, and he opens it up for you to play. But if the weather's gonna be bad, there'll be signs and rules. We're gonna have to come up with that to minimize our risk.
Well, I've already been doing that.
Right, but
I've
then.
I've already done that
If
2
they
years
have,
now.
if you know, we all watch the weather, you can ask
Yeah.
Howie whenever it's gonna be bad out. So, and then if it's a good period, Rob opens it up for you, you play.
But then you
and if
gotta
it's a
come in-
bad period, we lock it up, and that's
So you're
the
gonna
way
put
it's
the
gonna
burden
be.
on Rob to come and open it up for us, so that we're not out there waiting, hey, we
That's
can't
crazy.
play? 'Cause
There won't be any
Well-
arguments.
Yeah. I think that the past 2 years have shown that he did leave them open the first year until January, and then we started getting snow, and they had to be closed. And they're just going to have to be closed. This year, we didn't have snow. I don't even think the highway went out and actually plowed the whole year. They threw salt.
Salted.
But it was a very, very mild year. The pickleball courts were open. We rely on Rob's expertise as a recreation director to keep it open.
Right.
Or close them. And if snow is in the forecast and he feels that it's in the best interest to close them,
Well,
That's what we're
Rob told me in the email that he didn't close it because he didn't have someone to go close it.
Yeah,
So he didn't keep it open because of the weather, it's because he didn't have someone to do it. So that was the reason. And he said next year he wasn't going to do that.
No, the weather was also part of it because it was a mild winter.
Right, but I had the email and that's what you told me.
Okay, we're not, Mel, you're not getting a no, Ms. Ackerman, nobody's saying no to you. We just gotta come up with a way, a mechanism
Logistics.
for us to protect the town and protect yourselves, because it sounds like you're not gonna go damage it, but we wanna be in control of it so that if there is weather, he has the right, he says, well, this is gonna happen, we all watch it, lock it up, and then if it's not, and if it's nice out, then he'll just unlock it.
He's going to keep going back and forth, unlocking and unlocking it?
well,
Yep, because that minimizes our risk. Because if you climb over it when it's locked, then...
I'm not going to climb, those kids are going to
Well,
climb.
no, if the kids climb over it, they're taking an inherent risk,
risk.
which their parents would be in a rude awakening. It minimizes our impact, our liability. Everybody wants to sue the town, right?
There's no dispute, the courts are used heavily. There's no dispute there.
heavily.
Yes.
All
We
year
need an
long.
indoor court.
Yeah.
What's the picture that you got there, Mel?
This is a picture after a recent snow, let me pass it around.
Can you bring it up?
The court's being heavily used with snow in the background.
Is that this winter?
Yeah.
About a month ago.
How many months?
How did the courts get cleared?
A month ago?
You know what he said?
It melts. We
Yeah,
drive
no,
with squeeze
this
and
year-
a roller.
It never even hit the ground, it melted.
So what do you, I'm missing the point. There's no snow on the lawn all the way
Yes.
around the pickleball court, so if there's no
Yeah,
snow on the
yeah.
lawn, there shouldn't have been none on the court anyway. There's only just a little bit on the edge, but all the big areas all around it doesn't show any snow on the ground.
The snow was melting away. It was still there. So we played in the winter, we play when there is snow, but not on the courts.
A lot of activity, that's for sure.
I get your money's worth on that.
I've been there when there's a lot of people there.
I think we should work out the details with the attorney for the town, and then signs will go up, and then Rob's...
Well, one question for the attorney can look into is, would a volunteer for the town be suitable to make that type of judgment? Or if I made the judgment, would it be suitable for them to go and lock and unlock the courts?
No, you would make the judgment. The volunteer can do locking and unlocking.
Yeah. You could just make a phone call and say, you guys can unlock it, but it has to be locked.
I've been there when
So there'd be a
That's the only
combination
way.
lock or something, or
Yeah.
a punch thing or something?
Yeah.
That would work.
That
So
would
like I
work.
said, it's not, nobody's saying no, we're gonna
Yeah.
just make sure we do it right. Protects all of us.
And if we go over there and he hasn't said yes, and we can call him or text him, whatever, and say, can we go and play?
And if he's on vacation, you can call us, one of us. Who's in that, who's got that ward?
Mine.
That's you?
Yep.
Well, whomever is in that ward at that point, or myself if you have to.
Well, just to be clear, this is a discussion, so I don't, folks don't want to walk out of here. Oh, the board made a determination, here's what's going to happen. It's got to be voted on and be discussed before any actions can be taken.
So Kyle, I have a question. Is this something that's a resolution, or is it really something that's a directive or a policy that comes out of the Recreation Department?
Well, you can set the policy. I mean, if you want to, provide some sort of direction as a board, it doesn't have to be anything formal. So you can just, what we'll do is we're going to make sure the rec director has the following authority to exercise discretion based upon inclement weather as to whether or not to open the pickleball court, period. And do I hear a second? Second. All in
Okay.
favor? Aye.
And, okay.
Yep, so it could be so simple as that.
And to reiterate, Rob would be the person who would make the decision to open and
Based
close
on weather,
them, and a volunteer can go and open and close them.
Correct. That's his
Or
that's his
if
job.
I were appropriate maintenance coverage, maintenance could do it.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't normally have a maintenance person on staff on Saturday and Sunday.
No.
Well, that's an easier bridge to cross. Okay, Mel?
Rob can do
Okay,
it
so-
himself if he's so inclined. But that's
Please use your wisdom and
That's
permit us to
Steve's
play.
job.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
It's a fun game, but.
John, do you want to discuss this Creek Road?
Want to have a discussion on that?
Isn't this, why is this in my thing? It's part of the workshop, isn't it? That wasn't from you? Okay, so it's probably not in the workshop.
But I believe number 3.
Isn't it on as a,
Oh,
you have it down here as number,
Number 3,
is it number 3 or number? No,
number
no.
3,
discussion.
discussion, workshop.
You have it down as number 8, so you can do it when you get to number.
No, we, under workshop, it's under the first page.
Okay.
Number 3.
All right, yeah, so you can discuss it now, or you can discuss it when it comes up, in the order, whatever
Your call.
your-
You
Well,
worked on
we'll have a quick discussion. So over the past several months, we've been having a lot of heavy commercial traffic on Creek Road. Creek Road is a strip of road from the four-way stop at Dorsey Lane, where the 911 center is, and Creek Road goes heading north to Joseph's Steakhouse, and then that Creek Road exits onto Violet Avenue or Route 9G. It's a state road. Creek Road is owned by the town of Hyde Park. Over the years, the sides of the roads are a little deteriorated. The catch basins have a lot of settlement. There's a lot of movement in the roads. The road's real windy, and it's problematic when trucks are coming one direction and cars are coming the other. Over the past year or so, we've been noticing more people trying to walk down the shoulder of the road, or kids riding the bikes down the shoulders of the road, which is very, very hazardous. We had several incidents of car accidents. We had an incident just recently where a scrap metal dump trailer that flipped over, and all the scrap metal landed onto one of the adjoining neighbor's yard, throughout the yard, and almost through the picture window of one of the gentleman's houses. Thank God there wasn't a kid there, or a school bus, or somebody going down the road at the same time on a bicycle, because there would have really been serious, serious problems. So most of the vehicles are coming from, or most of the truck traffic is coming from Poughkeepsie. It's a convenient location or path to go from Poughkeepsie to get onto the Violet Avenue corridor or 9G corridor. The town, with discussions with the supervisor, we were thinking that if we put a weight limit restriction, just like we have similar down on West Dorsey, if you come up Route 9 and you make a right on West Dorsey, down where the Hyde Park Estates Apartments is, there is a 5-ton weight limit restriction on that road also.
Pine Woods too.
Yeah, and Pine Woods also. So the roads that are windy, that really shouldn't have the truck traffic on, this is one of them that we would like to establish a local law to prevent the trucks from going onto this road. and get them to go other paths that are straighter, where the roads are more wider, and you get a better traffic flow. So with the supervisor and myself and the neighbors in that whole area, they've been calling and saying, hey, listen, we got to come up with a local law to discourage these people. So what we want to do is have a 5-ton weight limit, except local delivery only. So of course, if you're getting a fuel oil delivery or furniture delivery, or somebody's coming with a big truck to dump dirt for landscape materials at your yard, that's acceptable. But as using it as a thoroughfare to go from point A to point B when you're not supposed to be taking that road, that is not acceptable. And that's the law that we would like to pass to take care of this issue.
So, John, I just have a question, and I actually was traveling on that road. I was hoping to go through the day of that accident. It was horrible. But it's going to take a while for GPS to catch up for the truck drivers who are using GPS. Is there like a grace time with signage that they're going to know that this is going to be closed? And also, where are they, if they're coming up Creek Road from Poughkeepsie past the Fire Training State Academy, where are they going to go when they get there? Can
Well-
they make a left and go down Dorsey?
Well, they can go onto East Dorsey, but the major truck traffic is coming from Poughkeepsie, which the route, or the DEC-approved route coming out of the scrap metal yard, when they got their permit, it says that they're supposed to head north on, past the Dutchess Community College, and then take the little side street, I think it's Cottage, that brings you
That goes
up.
past the DEP, that one?
That goes past the Region 8's office, DOT Region 8's office, and brings you onto Violet Avenue there. There are approved routes. So if somebody comes in, a truck driver, hopefully when this law is passed, it would, the GPS would tell them not to take that route and give them an alternate route.
And that turn to Cottage, that is still in Poughkeepsie?
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
I just wanted to make sure that if a truck was coming up, where are they going to go when they,
So it's my interpretation that to do this law, we reached out to Chief Benson already. If we got the support from the police chief and the highway superintendent, which I had conversations with Howie Fisher, they're both in support of this. We make a local law, and then it gets filed at the clerk's. It goes up to Albany. There's an official book that they have up there, some type of records keeping, that they post this in, and then we get a letter of acceptance that comes back to us, which says then we can therefore post the road.
Okay.
And when we do these postings, we also, I was talking to Howie about it, if we could, on the bottom, after we put the weight limit sign, we could put in bright yellow, a little square that says new, so that when people come, they can see that it's new. And of course, we're not gonna go right out there and start handing out tickets, but as time goes by, the signage is there, and if there's a problem, the officer can stop the truck and ask him where he's going and make, try to guide him to go the right direction, and hopefully this will eliminate a lot of the nuisance in the Creek Road area.
I agree.
Okay. That's it for workshop.
Thank
Okay,
you.
resolutions. I guess, who left off?
Lynn, so we're over to John.
John?
Resolution 410-1 of 2023, resolution authorizing Town of Hyde Park Assessor Cheryl Kozlika to attend the New York State Assessors Association online class Ethics and the Assessor on Friday, April 14, 2023.
May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Will the clerk take a roll call?
Councilwoman Nokes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-2 of 2023, resolution authorizing the town controller, James Conklin, and the town supervisor, Alfred Torrigiani, to attend the Associations of Towns 23rd Annual Finance School on May 15th and 16th, 2023, at the Marriott in Albany, New York.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take a roll call?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-3 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Highway Superintendent to auction surplus highway equipment.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk take the roll call, please?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-4 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to submit to Central Hudson Gas and Electric Corporation their application to allow for decorative temporary attachments to Central Hudson utility poles within the Town of Hyde Park for the purpose of displaying the town's hometown hero banners.
May I have a second?
Second?
All right. Will the clerk please take the roll call?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-5 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute an agreement with the Town of Hyde Park Chamber of Commerce for the maintenance of the Welcome to Hyde Park sign for 2023.
May I have a second?
Second?
Will the clerk please take a roll call?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Can I just clarify one thing? It's not just a sign, right? It's that whole little park area, right?
I think that the little park area is maintained by the Visual Environment Committee and more particularly by the DeLarms,
Great.
who seem to be the ones who always go out there and do it. But that little area there is usually done by Visual Environment.
But I think in coordination with the chamber, isn't it? I mean, based on the
Yeah,
lengthy thing that was sent out with us.
they work together on it.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Resolution 410-6 of 2023, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to acknowledge the town's support for a letter sent on behalf of the Dutchess County Supervisor and Mayor's Association expressing opposition to the short-term rental bill instituted by the New York State legislature.
May I have a second?
Second?
Will the clerk please take a roll call?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Can I make a comment on this?
Yes?
Thank you. I think that the key to this is that the local municipalities want to make sure that the control is local, and that's the point of it. So even though the idea that we need to have affordable housing and find ways to do it, that was the key to this.
Most
And
definitely.
that's why I support it.
All right. Thank you.
Resolution 410-7 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisors to provide, is that this in? No, to provide a letter of support for the Hillside Fire Department's Dutchess County Municipal Investment Grant application to seek funding to help offset the cost of much-needed self-containing breathing apparatus, SCBA, equipment for their engine and tanker.
May I have a second?
Second?
Will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-8 of 2023, resolution introducing the proposed local law and scheduling of a public hearing for the proposed local law number C of 2023 entitled A Local Law to Amend Chapter 104, Article 4 of the Town of Hyde Park Town Code by establishing a weight limitation for commercial vehicles on Creek Road.
See how it worked? It fell right on you. May I have a second?
Second?
Will the clerk please read the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried. John, you did a lot of work on this one. Thank you.
Resolution 410-9 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to accept the 2023 proposal from Clark Peterson Lee for landfill monitoring services for the town's landfill located on Forest Drive in the Town of Hyde Park.
All right, may I have a motion to amend this, number 9, at the dais, and a second, please? Okay, does everybody understand the reason for the
Yep.
amendment? We all got it? It's to save the town $700. Okay. Where are we at? The amended, okay.
Is there a second?
May I have the
Second, I
first?
second it.
Okay,
John, now, who's second?
John.
Okay. Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
I'm sorry. Are we voting on this?
The amended version.
The amended version?
Well, not
Okay.
yet. You're voting to make the amendment.
Are we voting to make the amendment, or are we voting to
To make the amendment.
make the amendment? Thank you. Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
All right.
And now you'll
Now we're going to vote on the amended version. May I have a motion?
I so move.
Okay, second.
Second?
Will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-10 of 2023, resolution authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance 100% of the federal aid and state Marcasalian program aid eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds thereof.
Second?
Yeah. Lynn, second.
Yes.
Will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-11 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Maura Resinger as court clerk for the Town of Hyde Park Justice Court.
May I have a second?
Second?
Okay. Will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-12, 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Tina Mazer as part-time deputy receiver of... I'm sorry?
Tanya.
Tanya Mazer as part-time deputy receiver of taxes for the Town of Hyde Park Tax Receiver's Office.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-13 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Brandon DeMarco as full-time motor equipment operator for the Town of Hyde Park Highway Department.
May I have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Lynn. Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-14 of 2023, resolution approving a memorandum of agreement in connection with the collective bargaining agreement with the Hyde Park CSEA Highway Unit and Town Hall Unit.
May I have a second?
Second?
All right, will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 410-15 of 2023. Resolution amending Resolution 13-2 of 2023 that set the holiday schedule for the year 2023 to be observed by the Town of Hyde Park personnel not covered by the existing collective bargaining agreements of the Police Benevolent Association and the CSEA Town Hall Unit and Highway Unit agreements for the year 2023 to include the approved additional holiday of June 19th, known as Juneteenth, as an official holiday to be observed by the Town of Hyde Park personnel not covered by collective bargaining agreements.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 410-16 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve vacation carryover for Carolyn Miller, confidential secretary to the Town Supervisor.
May I have a second?
Aye. Second. Whoops.
Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 410-17 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve an addendum to the contract for the Town of Hyde Park Police Chief Robert Benson to stipulate June 19th, known as Juneteenth, as an official observed paid holiday.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Elaine. Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 410-20 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to create an additional position of full-time groundskeeper cleaner for the Town of Hyde Park Recreation Department and appoint Gary Sabatino to said position.
Okay. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Don. Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 410-21 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Police Assistant Derek Bryan to attend the webinar on managing police records Tuesday, August 8, 2023.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Don. All right, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 410-22 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Clerk and Town Engineer to solicit bids for the Town of Hyde Park Police Court facility renovations.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 410-23 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve and authorize the transfer of funds from the Recreation Trust Fund to the General Fund to offset costs that are not covered by the Dutchess County 2021-2022 Municipal Investment Grant funding that was awarded to the Town of Hyde Park for ADA accessible and inclusive design playground equipment for the Town of Hyde Park Recreation's Hackett Hill Park.
May I have a second?
Second.
All right, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 410-24 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Clerk and Town Engineer to solicit bids for the Hyde Park Recreation Dinsmore Park Playground Improvement Project and the ADA accessible and inclusive design playground equipment for the Town of Hyde Park Recreation's Hackett Hill Park for the construction of ADA required parking.
May I have a second?
Second?
Thanks, John. Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-25 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Clerk to submit the standard workday and reporting resolution for 2023 as required by the New York State Controller in accordance with the New York State Retirement System requirements.
May I have a second?
Second?
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-26 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to close the Hyde Park Town Court office on Monday, May 8th, and the Hyde Park Town Hall offices on Thursday, May 18th, for the 2023 Public Records Inventory.
May I have a second?
Second.
All right. Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-27 of 2023, resolution authorizing Town of Hyde Park Town Board to waive the notice requirement with respect to the liquor license application for the Happy Dinsmore Cafe LLC in the town of Statsburg.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 410-28 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to schedule a public hearing
Does that
on the
have to be
2022-2023 MS4 Permit Annual Report.
May I have a second?
Second?
Thank you, John. Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Just a point of order, as I pointed out, just going back to the resolution 410-27 of 23, the caption, it refers to the town of Statsburg. Obviously,
Yeah, I was
That's-
wondering about that.
yeah, that's obviously a typographical mistake. Statsburg is a hamlet, not a town. Just so the record reflects that.
On what resolution?
That was resolution 27.
27?
Yeah, the one that I just read says in the town of Statsburg. It should be the hamlet of Statsburg.
I know everybody calls it the town,
Yeah.
to that extent, too.
They haven't seceded from the town of Hyde Park yet.
Do we need to make any provisions for that?
No, just wanted to clarify the record.
It's on record.
Okay. Resolution 410-29 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Stella Kohler to the Town of Hyde Park Board of Assessment Review.
May I have a second?
Second?
Will the clerk please read the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Prusakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torrigiani.
Aye. Motion carried. Do we have any new or old business?
Got a couple things, real quick. We had up in Ward 3 again, we had another situation, just want to make the board aware of it, up next to the Hyde Park Assisted Living Facility up on Violet Avenue, where the old bowling alley was, is the best way to describe it. There was another situation where there was a pedestrian hit by a car. The pedestrian was crossing to go to the facility, and the pedestrian is in critical condition on a ventilator as we speak.
This has been like the second or third major casualty there or accident in the last few months. So under the direction, talking to the supervisor, we reached out to Michael Dupree to draft a letter up to basically send it to the property owners of the assisted facility management place there and DOT and other officials to see if we can have a sit-down within the next week to see if there's something that we can do about increasing the safety of the pedestrians walking across, going to the Sunoco or walking over to Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. So just for the public to know, we hear everybody's concerns. We're starting to address it and getting the ball rolling, and hopefully we can come up with some type of solution to take care of that problem. Another thing, while we're talking about safety, as you know, the weather's getting nicer, so I can only ask the people to kind of slow down, be a little more cautious driving, reduce the speed on all the roads. There's a lot of children out playing in the yards now. We have a lot of situations where there are a lot of elderly people trying to walk along the sides of the road and cross the roads for exercise, and we started the Route 9 construction of the sidewalks, which we have a lot of construction crews working on the shoulders of the road. So if everybody can use a little more caution, I would appreciate that, and especially the highway department. The guys are out there, the blacktop plants are going to be up in the next week. They're going to be out there patching the roads, fixing a lot of the deteriorated roads over the winter. So if we can use extreme caution when you see the crews out there working, that would be greatly appreciated. That's all I got.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else? No? Okay. Before I ask for adjournment, I want to shout out to my mother-in-law, Sally. How are you? Embarrassing. All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll get home safe.
Rob, I think you moved in across the street from my mother-in-law?
I think so.